Hello YouTube, happy Camel's Hump Day. This is Bohicaville. I'm Paul. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2013. And I have to tell you that at the end of September, I was sure that there would be some kind of 11th hour deal to prevent a partial government shutdown. And I think I did a couple videos about it, and I was wrong. But then I said they would probably most certainly reach a deal before the debt ceiling is reached on October 17th. And it appears, although the House has not yet voted as I'm speaking, the Senate has voted to pass a bill to keep the government funded, and the House is expected to vote in a little while. So it appears that the Republicans, led by big bawling crybaby John Boehner, have rolled over like stuck pigs. Could this be the beginning of death bells for the Republican Party? I don't know. It could be. We'll have to wait and see. But there's one particular Republican that shouldn't be hearing any death bells, at least for a little while, and that's Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, the Senate Minority Leader. And that's because within this compromise bill to keep the government funded, there is an earmark for about $2 billion of additional funding for a dam project in, guess which state? Kentucky. That's right. The Olmsted Dam Lock in Paducah, Kentucky, as a result of an earmark in this bill, will have its funding raised from $775 million to $2.9 billion. That is an increase of $2.1 billion, or approximately triple what the original funding was. A spokesperson for Senator McConnell said that the reporters would have to talk to Senators Dianne Feinstein and Lamar Alexander, who are the chair and ranking members, respectively, of the Energy and Water Subcommittee, which is the committee that worked on this issue that added the earmark for the Olmsted Dam Lock in Paducah, Kentucky. Yeah, I'm sure that old Mitch had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was just an innocent bystander. He didn't cut any backroom deals, no. But that makes me wonder if beer distributors in Paducah, Kentucky are doing a bit of extra business tonight, because I'm betting there's going to be a couple keggers going on down in Paducah. Just a thought, just a possibility, but Mitch had nothing to do with it. Okay, moving on. During this entire, well, at least 3-month period, maybe more than 3 months, that we've been moving up to this debt ceiling crisis, the national debt has remained constant day by day at about $25 million below the debt limit. And you may ask, how is that possible? Well, I think I discussed this in a video a couple days ago. It was possible because Jack Lew, the Secretary of the Treasury, has been raiding the Federal Employee Pension Fund to cover operating expenses during this period of time, and presumably writing IOUs to this pension fund. But my question is, how are they now going to pay back the pension fund? Is there going to be money included in the budget to pay back the pension fund. Remember, the Social Security has been running on IOUs for several years now because that money has been taken out of the Social Security fund for general operating expenses, and the government has written IOUs to the Social Security Administration. So that money really isn't there either. So what's going to happen when the can cannot be kicked any further down the road, and there's no more money for Social Security, and there's no more money to pay pensions for federal employees? You're going to see at that point that it is indeed possible for senior citizens to throw a riot because that's what's going to happen. Okay, next. And I have links to all these stories below. Um, next, I picked this off of a site called Activist Post. Um, it appears that the Nestle Corporation loves water, and they love water so much that they are willing to go to any lengths to essentially steal community water supplies for their own profit. Now, I am not what you would call an environmentalist. However, there is one resource that I do agree with the environmentalists on, and that resource is water. It is the one resource that every human being on the planet requires for survival. And for that matter, it is required by all forms of plant life also. We can't exist without water. But Nestle Corporation seems to have this habit of going around and basically taking control over local water supplies and then reselling that water for a huge profit. Now, I have no objection to profit as long as it comes from voluntary free market capitalism. But what Nestle is doing here has nothing to do with free markets. This is crony market capitalism, which comes about by greasing the palms of politicians so that they'll vote the way that the Nestle Corporation wants them to vote on the water issue. And I have to admit here, I discovered tonight that I am part of this problem. Here is the bottle of water I'm drinking from right now. It is Deer Park water, and I took a close look at the label when I found this article on Activist Post earlier tonight, and lo and behold, Deer Park is a subsidiary of the Nestle Water Corporation of North America. Now, I'm not going to throw this water away because I've already purchased it. But I'm going to be very careful the next time I purchase bottled water. And I have also ordered a water filtration system so that I can filter all the shit out of my tap water and drink that from now on. So it won't be too much longer before I won't be contributing to this problem. Look at the bottle, look at the labels on your bottles, folks. It's probably going to say Nestle on it somewhere. Okay. In another article that I found in the Guardian newspaper, it appears that the Federal Reserve, is setting the table to lay the blame for the coming economic depression on this government shutdown. The Fed has reported that the economy was growing at a moderate pace before the end of September when this whole partial government shutdown started. So when the collapse happens, and I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it is going to happen, folks. We are going to experience an economic depression, and it is going to be blamed at that time on this government shutdown, which will probably be another death bell for the Republican Party, because the Republican Party is going to take all the blame for this partial shutdown. But the real culprits in this coming economic depression are the elitist Wall Street bankers. And folks, they are every bit as much aligned with the Democrats as they are with the Republicans. Prince George II, aka President George W. Bush, was a stoolie for the Wall Street bankers. And the Oracle, aka President Barack Obama, is a stoolie for the Wall Street bankers. That's all there is to it. Okay. Finally, I have a little bit of humor here. And I found this piece of humor on a site called Zero Hedge. And it basically is a selection of little cartoons and a couple of limericks poking fun at all of the congressional leaders for this government shutdown. And there are 2 limericks included, and I'm going to end by reading these limericks to you. The author is listed only as the Limerick King. The first one is dedicated to big, bad, bawling crybaby John Boehner. Boehner is making us hurl. We're watching him fight like a girl. And if he can't win, he'll do a quick spin and finish his jabs with a twirl. And the other limerick, also credited to the Limerick King, is in honor of Senator Harry Reid. The people don't understand Reid. He seems like a whole different breed. He's hopelessly dense and not making sense. We're not even sure he can read. And with that, I bid you all a good night, good health, stay vigilant, stay prepared, stay safe. Ciao.